Hey guys, welcome back.
And welcome back to Inspired Delusions.
And if you're new here, my name is Kayma.
And I'm Olivia.
And we are your delusional besties.
Yes, hey besties.
And we have such amazing news, you guys. We have the amazing Brad Yates on our podcast. Can you guys believe this?
We are definitely like giggling and kicking our feet on our side, and we're freaking out when Brad agreed to this.
No, so excited. I know you guys all know who he is because we obviously talk about him in every single video, but we are honored that you're here, Brad. We cannot wait to get into all things EFT tapping.
Well, thank you. I'm thrilled to be here as well. Thank you thank you for having me on.
Yes.
Of course. Yes, well, welcome. And we're just wondering if you could give us just a little bit about your background for people. If crazily enough, if someone doesn't know who you are, if you could give a little bit about your background and, how you got into EFT tapping.
Yeah. Basically, how does a grown man find himself tapping on his face for a living?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, thanks. I actually started out as an actor and had traveled the world doing theater and went to Hollywood to be a movie star, as one does. And while I was there, I met a woman, fell in love, got married. And when our first child was on the way, I thought, I might need a backup career. I'd played a doctor on Days of Our Lives for a few days, but it wasn't enough to support a family. So I was looking at other things that I might be able to do. Saw an ad for hypnotherapy school, and I thought, I've always been interested in the power of the mind. Let's do that. So went through a long training program, got certified, did supervised hours in the clinic, started building a small practice, and still pursuing my acting career. And then a couple of years later, when our second child was on the way, I thought, as much as I love acting, this personal development work is what I'm here for. This is my calling. It just spoke to me in a whole different way. So we packed up and left Los Angeles and moved to Northern California to raise our kids closer to their grandparents. And through some other hypnotherapists, I heard about this energy psychology conference going on. And this guy, Gary Craig, was teaching a process called EFT, Emotional Freedom Techniques, where you tap on your face. And I know for any of you who are new to tapping, this is, tapping on your face looks a little strange. Now, during the time that I was an actor, I'd gone to Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Clown College. So this was not the strangest thing I'd ever done at this point. So I might have been slightly more open-minded than the average person. and just found it a fascinating technique. And so after that conference, I started introducing it little by little into my hypnotherapy sessions. And little by little, they became tapping sessions. That became my main modality. I still do some hypnosis with clients. But and then this thing called YouTube came along. Mm-hmm. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if there was a tapping video that people could start their day with? And I'll call it Tap of the Morning, because that sounded fun. And I didn't even know how to load a video up to YouTube. I had to have a friend do that for me at that point. And I put it up there. It's like, I have a video on YouTube. Great, I'm done. And then 6 months later, I thought, I should have a video to end the day. And I'll call it Tap of the Evening. And then I'm done. And then I had another idea and another idea. And now I've got over 1,500 videos on YouTube.
Yes. Oh, well, okay, right. Actually, I've listened to a couple of interviews where you were on as a guest, and I remember that. Now it's clicking. And we live in Los Angeles, so it's very relevant.
Excellent.
And that's interesting. Actually, this wasn't even part of the questions that we wrote down, but do you think hypnosis versus EFT tapping, it sounded like you were moving more into EFT tapping, but I guess it sounds like EFT tapping is your favorite. Do you think that's more effective than hypnosis?
I prefer it as a modality. One, it literally puts the healing technique into the person's own hands, whereas self-hypnosis is a little more challenging to teach somebody. I still love hypnosis. I end all of my sessions with some in my live workshops. I do that as part of it. But just for me personally, the way that I like to work with people, tapping is more effective for me in the way I work with my clients.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, putting it back into the person's hands.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're definitely gifted and you found your calling because I mean, we were talking about how everyone kind of channels, like we all have this direct access to source and you just have to find your little niche in it or whatever you're connected with, and that's definitely yours because your videos are timeless. Sometimes I'll find myself needing to work through something, I YouTube you, Google you, I find a video and it's 11 years old. And I'm like, oh, this is still so relevant. You can use this at any point in your life. It's always there. And it's wonderful.
Yeah, the issues that we have as human beings haven't changed much in the, 18 years that I've been on YouTube now that,
Yeah.
Right.
there are definitely new things that have come along in that time. Social media has certainly blown up since I first started. And the stressors that people are facing are showing up in new and more clever ways. But the basic principles of the stress and how it affects us, yeah, it's relatively timeless.
Right,
Yeah.
totally. Well, and so for anyone else who hasn't listened to us yet, about the power of EFT tapping, we talk about it basically every episode, and we've been telling our clients and everything. But for people who haven't tried it yet, because if you try it, you'll probably pretty quickly realize it's very effective. But for anyone who hasn't tried it, could you kind of give us a little bit of the background of what it is, how it works for people,
Yeah.
coming from the EFT expert himself?
Well, one of them. But so EFT is originally based on acupuncture, the original version of the tapping as we do it. I mean, there are a number of different healing modalities that led to it, but the tapping as we do it basically stems from a psychologist named Dr. Roger Callahan, who found that by tapping on these same points that have been used in acupuncture for thousands of years, you could dramatically lower emotional intensity. So he discovered this while working with a woman with a water phobia, and her water phobia cleared up very quickly. And he started experimenting with different patients. And after a short amount of time, had put himself out of business because the tapping had helped all of his clients resolve the issues that were bothering them. So he started teaching this, and he had a technique called thought field therapy that was a little bit more complicated, tapping different points in different sequences. And then when he started teaching it, and one of his first students, Gary Craig, had his degree in engineering, and thinking like an engineer, said, well, see if we can simplify this process. And if we just tap all these 8 points in a row, then he found he got the same great results without having to spend time figuring out which points to tap in which sequence. So again, the idea of in acupuncture is that there is this flow of energy through the body along these pathways. And when the energy is flowing naturally, we experience our natural state of health and well-being, physically and emotionally. When the energy gets stuck or disrupted in some way, we don't feel so good. And when we don't feel good, we don't think as clearly, we don't make the best choices. That has all kinds of negative consequences for our lives. So in traditional Chinese medicine, they would stick needles in these key points to stimulate that healthy flow of energy. And we're just tapping those points. And we have a growing body of scientific research showing the benefits of the tapping. And basically, it's sending calming signals to the brain. And the primary function is downregulating stress. And when you consider that most, if not all, of the issues that bother us physically and emotionally are either caused by or at least worsened by stress, then you can see that a simple stress relief technique can be so beneficial in so many areas of our lives.
Yeah,
Totally.
definitely. I think one of the first ways that I heard tapping explained as was like an energetic lymphatic drainage. And I was like, okay, that makes so much sense to me because you are like clearing out, like you said, you're down regulating that stress and then maybe up regulating these good feelings in turn.
Yeah. And from my standpoint, the good feelings are who we are. That's the core. Right. So, you can see I have Michelangelo's David back there. I have David's all over the place because one is my favorite piece of art. I just saw it twice. I was in Florence recently and went 2 different days. But Michelangelo said, the statue is already there, perfect inside the marble. All I have to do is chip away what doesn't belong to reveal the masterpiece inside. And to me, that's a perfect metaphor for what we're doing with the tapping. We're tapping away doubt and fear and guilt and shame and all that stuff. And underneath that, then we reveal the all that positive, the joy, the gratitude, the love that's already at the core of who we are.
That's so beautiful. I've definitely quoted you saying that. So that's such a good analogy. And we were talking to someone else about EFT tapping, and she kind of described it as we are all the sun, right? Like the sun in the sky. And tapping is kind of helping you get rid of the clouds, you know, so then you can just come back to your natural state of shining and of being that light. Yeah. So I think both of those analogies are really, really good.
Yeah. Same basic concept of what's pure and light is already there, and stuff gets in the way, and we can tap that stuff away.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it. One of your favorite videos, something that I recommend to everybody, is the thinking and feeling you're not good enough. I used to do it all the time before work. And one of your lines you say, it's gold. You said, I was created by God. And then you say a couple other things, but then you go, and if I'm good enough for God, who could I not be good enough for? And I love that. Like that changed something in my head. That rewired something. So I was like, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. I use something similar to that because the whole feeling you're not good enough, that's the number one issue that we as human beings face, is feeling I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, things like that. And it's all misunderstandings. You know, your current circumstances don't define your value. However, you have possibly created your current circumstances based on thinking that you're not good enough. Because if I feel I'm not worthy, I'm going to play small. I'm going to block myself from allowing great opportunities. And it's just based on misunderstandings that either someone else has told me or my misreading of some circumstance. And so we play small from that. And using the tapping to clear up those misunderstandings. So another one that I'll often use is when we're breathing. Every time you take a breath in, you're asking the universe, God, source, creator, for oxygen. And every single time the universe says yes, saying, so every moment we're being told we're worthy. And it's the same thing. Okay, if God, source, universe is telling me I'm worthy of that oxygen, who am I going to listen to if someone else says, oh, you don't deserve good things? Well, you know, the source says otherwise. and along those lines, I'm going to ask everybody watching, take a big deep breath in and hold it. And let it go. Now, for 99.999% of you watching, you got more oxygen when you took that deep breath in. The universe didn't say, I know you're asking for more, but I'm still only going to give you the same amount of oxygen that I've been giving you before. So, we're worthy and deserving of that oxygen, which is representative of energy, of all good things. And when we ask for more, the universe tends to say, yeah, okay, I'm good with that. As long as we don't resist it.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. With the analogies, Brad, with the analogies. That's so good. Like it's there. The oxygen, the extra air, the extra oxygen is always there. You just have to ask for it or be intentional with breathing in further. That's such a good way to think about it. Because I mean, we, at Inspired Delusions, we're always telling people that, you can have everything that you want, right? If to the extent. Also, I think this is your quote too. Actually, I know this is your quote. We also say this, of like, to the extent in which you don't have something is the extent in which you're holding it back, right? So it's like, as soon as you ask for something, it's on the way. And then you just have to make sure you're not blocking it.
Yeah. The extent to which you are not experiencing what you say you want tends to be the extent to which you're resisting it. The oxygen is there. The extent that I don't have more oxygen is because I'm stopping myself from having more. It's not because we're bad or stupid or weak or lazy, but we have programming about, don't ask for too much. Don't take too much. If you take in a deeper breath, somebody else is going to be short of breath. It's like, well, no. I have two quotes that I often use. That one, and the other one is, self-sabotage is simply misguided self-love. So when we're resisting better things, whether it's, gee, I'm not trying, I'm not asking for a raise, I'm not trying to get a better job. I say that I'm on a diet, but I ate a pint of ice cream yesterday, all these different things. And we beat ourselves up for these acts of self-sabotage when we want to be compassionate with ourselves and recognize, okay, I am resisting that goal of more money, more better health, whatever it might be, because something inside of me says, taking care of myself in this way at this moment is more important. If I'm eating that ice cream, it's because part of me is saying, I'm not feeling good right now. And my history tells me that ice cream makes me feel better. And so I know there will be consequences later. I'll regret it when I step on the scale tomorrow morning. But right now, I don't care about tomorrow. I don't care about the scale. Right now, I need to comfort myself. Same with money things. Right now, I just need to go shopping. I need to spend money on something. I need to, whatever it is. So we sabotage what we say our goals are, because in that moment, it's like, this is what I need to do to take care of myself. And that's why I say, well, yes, you could do that. Or you could try tapping to help calm down that uncomfortable emotion. It's like, oh, now I don't need to engage in that old habitual behavior. Now I can allow myself to just feel better and say, all right, feeling better now. Now what do I really want to do to move the needle towards my goals?
So
Wow,
good.
I love that misguided self-love.
Yeah.
That's so true, because we're always just trying to be there for ourselves. So it's like kind of pausing for a moment and being like, let me reassess, let me tap, let me down regulate these heightened emotions so then I can actually see what the end goal is, or what I actually want to do.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Ideally with compassion, because we're so often, we look at this, I can't believe I fell for that again. I can't believe I did that again. I can't believe, and we beat ourselves up and we're just harming ourselves. Like, no. It really is self-love. It's misguided based on old programming and misunderstandings, but love yourself within, hey, I really appreciate the way that you pounded down that pint of ice cream yesterday in order to make me feel better. Really impressive. Thank you so much. And now, so, whatever it is that we might be doing, every time we say yes to an invitation that we really don't want to say yes to, whatever it might be, every time you feel that urge to beat yourself and go, I can't believe I just ... Using that quote from Walt Whitman, be curious rather than judgmental. Don't judge yourself for what you did. Get curious about, oh, isn't that interesting that I said yes to that? Isn't it interesting that I took that action, or that I failed to take that action? Isn't it interesting that I totally forgot to go to that job interview? And then do it with tapping, because we calm down the stress that comes up that tries to keep us from seeing what's going on. There's a part of the stress comes up and says, nope, stop thinking. Because when we get stressed out, the prefrontal cortex goes offline. I can't think clearly if I'm stressed out. So I want to calm myself down with the tapping and then look at it and say, okay, what's going on here? What was what was I thinking? Oh, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking if I went to that job interview, I'd get a bigger paycheck, I'd have more money, and my parents, who told me that rich people are greedy and awful, then I'd be one of those bad people that they hated. That was brilliant. Now I choose to reconsider and change my mind about that.
Yeah, that's so good. Wow, that's so good. And then I was going to say too, something that we teach and talk about a lot is that you need to be your biggest hype person or your biggest cheerleader inside of your mind. And I love how you start all your videos with being like, even though I'm feeling anxiety or even though I'm feeling stress, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I was just curious if what's happening in our brain or psychology wise of what happens when we say that, like, what I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I feel like that's kind of what you say typically, or some version of that.
Yeah. Well, so you've obviously learned EFT from someone else as well, because the original version of the setup phrase is, even though I have this issue, I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Got it.
I always phrase it. I'm early on, I might have used that. I tend to phrase it, even though I have this issue, I choose to love and accept myself.
Got it.
Because for a lot of people, just outright stating, I deeply and completely love and accept myself, part of them just freezes up and says, but I don't. But I don't. So I feel like by saying I choose to love and accept myself kind of puts a buffer in there saying, okay, I'm not making a false claim that that's how I feel right now, but I do want to feel that way. But by saying I choose it, it also doesn't say I don't love and accept myself. So it just kind of gives a little more wiggle room for those people who find that statement difficult.
Got it.
And the reason we do the setup statement is originally when Dr. Callahan came up with this was to counteract what he called psychological reversal. That part of us that has a secondary gain in holding on to the issue. And we tend to avoid it. You know, what we resist persists. When you first introduce EFT to some people, and the basic version is, even though I have this problem, I choose to love and accept myself, even though I'm angry, even though I'm afraid. And a lot of people say, what? No. That's a negative statement. You should only say the positive, always positive thinking. Yes, and what you resist persists. So, if you have a beautiful living room with a beautiful carpet, and you also have a beautiful dog, and your dog leaves a not so beautiful gift on your carpet, you can't say, I'm just going to look at where the carpet is clean. And I'm just going to say my carpet is so beautiful, because one, you're kidding yourself, because part of your brain is absolutely focused on the poop. Two, if you don't acknowledge it, you're going to step in it and spread it around. So it's not a matter of sitting there and dwelling on it and going, oh my goodness, my dog pooped on my carpet. It's a matter of saying, oh, there's poop. I'm going to clean it up. Now that's what we're doing the tapping. We're cleaning it up. And now I can enjoy my living room without trying to pretend that there's nothing there. So most people are taught to use that 4-letter F word. Fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Oh yeah, obviously. So the setup is basically giving ourselves permission to say, even though I'm actually not fine, I still choose to love and accept myself. I'm not a bad person because I'm not perfect right now. And that just sort of creates an opening for us to then go through with the process.
That's so good. And, and that's something that we've been learning about too. And that makes sense that's what happens with EFT tapping is like acknowledging your feelings, right? Yeah. Acknowledging your feelings actually takes away like a lot of the power of them. So we were just talking about that. And don't worry, I think I just misquoted you. I'm not doing tapping with anyone else, Brad. Don't worry.
There are a lot of wonderful practitioners. I've started doing, a friend of mine and I started a series now called Tag Team Tapping, where we do YouTube lives, and there's 2 of us, and we switch back and forth because, there are times where someone may have something they're going through, and they're not going to quite hear it the same way from me that they'll hear it from somebody else.
Yeah.
And so it's, I appreciate it, but please feel free to, it's like, imagine a rock star saying, only listen to my albums. It's like, no, there's so much great music out there. Enjoy all of it.
So
but
funny.
Come back and listen to mine too.
Yeah, right. That's what we say about our podcast. So funny.
Brad, are there any physical or emotional feelings you might feel as you tap? Because I always yawn when I'm tapping, even if it's a random tap during the day. And sometimes I feel emotional, sometimes I feel nothing. And I know I'm like, is there things that might come up like physically or emotionally in the moment?
Yeah, Kayma, great question. Yawning is the most common physical thing that we notice. And I get that question all the time. There are a number of ways the body physically expresses energy shifting. Yawning is the one that's most common when we're tapping. Sometimes for me, my shoulders will start rolling when I'm really working on something. It's like, oh, there's stuff moving like crazy there. Crying is a very common one. People talk about burping. So there's a number of things. Now, that's not to say that if you are not yawning or burping, that nothing's happening. So the scientific research being done shows this, that whenever we're tapping, there are benefits. We have physical biological markers that show this. Cortisol, one of the stress hormones, is lowered. Our immune system is boosted. So I like to say that tapping sometimes is like a painkiller, and we notice in a pretty quick amount of time, it's like, okay, I'm feeling relief now. Sometimes it's like a vitamin. We know if we've been taking vitamins for some time, the benefits, but we also know from the research that there are benefits, even though I don't think anyone has ever taken a vitamin and instantly said, yes, I feel so much better. So the tapping is like that. There are always benefits whenever we're tapping, whether we're consciously aware of it, whether we see yawning or any of those physical expressions. But and when we're doing the tapping, we start the setup and saying, okay, what is bothering me? Am I feeling stress? Am I angry at someone? Is it fear? We'll rate it on a scale of 0 to 10 in terms of how intense it is, and we'll also generally ask, and what's the physical symptom that goes with that? So if I say, well, I'm really angry at my boss right now. Okay, scale of 0 to 10. Oh, it's an 8. And how do you know? What do you feel in your body? Oh, I feel this tension in my shoulders, or my fists are clenched, or something like that. Because so often we'll say, I'm really upset. And if we're not aware if we don't pay attention to where it is in the body, then we're just not really tuned into it. And sometimes we'll say, it's, it's an intensity of 10. Really? How do you feel that? Well, I don't feel it anywhere. It's probably not a 10 then. So the body is a great way of knowing how intense something is. That's why EFT is so profound. Is we're not just talking about issues, because the mind and body are connected. When we're really angry at someone, we're not just totally relaxed in our body going, yeah, I'm really pissed off right now. It's a visceral experience. It's in the body. So that's why we want to use a technique that takes it into the body. So we'll look at, sometimes we'll notice the yawning or other physical expressions like that. But sometimes it's a matter of, okay, I checked before and I felt this tension in my shoulders. And now, having gone through some tapping, oh, wow, no, my shoulders are relaxed.
I love it. Oh, I also wanted to take a second to just ask you, do you know how many people are like so obsessed with you? Because people, first of all, you're
Olivia.
known. First of all, everyone calls you Tap Daddy, or like Brad Tap Daddy. It's so hilarious. And I feel like everyone who starts to get into tapping, because you're, at least in my opinion, from my knowledge, you're the OG tapping guy on YouTube, they end up stumbling upon your videos. And as we know, EFT tapping is life changing. So essentially you're changing literally so many people's lives. So I'm like, do you read your comments all the time? Do you know how loved you are?
Well, thank you. Um, I do read comments on YouTube. I mean, it's always very gratifying. Generally, I read them because there's a lot of questions in there, and I try to answer questions. And if someone says, "Yeah, but what about?" It's like, great, learning opportunity. Let me help expand awareness of this. But in the meantime, I also see the really nice things that people say, which not such a horrible thing to have in your job. No, I don't know if I have the very first YouTube tapping YouTube video as one of the first. I was early on, but I think someone there are a couple people who might have had one or two before I did. But certainly one of the first out there. And in terms of the my name coming up when people search it, it's just because I won't shut up. So I've just made a lot of videos like, oh, I think I could put something else out there, and maybe some others are a little bit more, no, I don't need to put that much out there.
Yeah, right. Well, it's super needed, I think, and that's a testament to just putting things out there, right? Like, I love your approach to that. You're just like, oh, this would be cool. Like, this would be, someone might want to start their day off right. Oh, someone actually might want to start their evening off right, or whatever. And I think that's a good way to create whatever you're trying to create, your art, share your content, just being like, you know what, let me just put this out there, and because you're passionate about it. So that's really, really beautiful.
Yeah, the ideas someone once asked, how do you come up with ideas for videos? And I say, by being human.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's requests, and I have I think over 1,500 videos out there now. And I have a list of probably that many that I've thought that'd make a great video. And I write it down. And then I often don't get to that list because another idea will come up. And my wife and I were just traveling through Europe for a month, and we'd be out and about and say, oh, let's do a video here. So, we're in front of Notre Dame in Paris, and it's, still has the scaffolding being recovered from the fire. And I said, oh, let's shoot a video about recovering from setbacks, or in front of, we're out at Land's End in Cornwall, the westernmost part of England. And it's like, oh, let's shoot a video about endings. So just ideas will come. It's like, hey, that would be cool. And someone will enjoy it. And, I'll put videos out sometimes and I'll go, yeah, I don't know about that one, but I felt like I should do it. And almost invariably, someone will say, this is my favorite video of yours. This is the one I've been waiting for. And so it's like, all right, that's who I made the video for.
Yeah.
I love that.
Love that. Taking inspiration from life. That's perfect.
Yeah. We forgot to say this at the beginning, but Brad is did we say that? Brad's going to run us through a tapping session here in a little bit at the end. But I wanted to kind of just get your opinion on being delusional, right? Again, we love the word delusional. We love the word, we love the teaching people to think bigger and expand your mind. And sometimes that feels a little delusional, but it's only delusional until it works. Yeah. So just wanted to hear your opinion on, do you think people should dream bigger, or how should they dream bigger / should they be delusional? And the only answer, you can't say no.
Oh, look at the time. Shoot. I thought we only had no, I love it because so part of what got me into all of this was when I was 15 years old, I was interested in parapsychology, and I was telling my dad about stuff, and he said, I think you're ready for Illusions. And for anyone who hasn't read this, Illusions, The Adventures of a Reluctant Messiah by Richard Bach, who also wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull. And it's my favorite book. I've read it a dozen times. I have several copies, so I hand them out to people. And it's the idea that everything that we see is an illusion, and we're creating it. So, but you could also say it as actually what we're experiencing are delusions, because it's, so we could say if it's all made up, they're all delusions. Are we going to create our own? Are we going to be intentionally delusional or take on somebody else's delusions? And what they've told us should be, since it's, so I just love the name of that. It's just a flip on the idea of illusions. They're not illusions. They're delusions. Yeah. And, that reality that I've been going through, where this idea that money is the root of all evil and I shouldn't stand out and all these different things, that's somebody else's delusion. And what would be fun? What would be empowering? What would really make the world a better place? And if someone's going to say it's delusional, it's like, what isn't? It's all made up anyway. So I'm going to choose the more joyful, more empowering one.
Right.
That's good.
I love the freedom that we have to change our minds and to choose what we want to believe and to have the ability to intentionally create. And so it's like, why not remember and understand that we're so worthy and so deserving, and then go above and beyond with that knowledge and get everything we want and live out this life that we have right now to the fullest. So it's really beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah. And I just made a TikTok. It was like, being delusional is the key, to manifesting, because, being delusional, you might feel a little crazy. People might call you a little crazy, but actually really the people who think small and the people who think they can't manifest anything, those are the crazy ones, actually.
I said, what?
We don't need to judge them.
Yes. They just don't know yet.
They don't know yet. They are ignorant, and ignorant is not stupid. We hear the word ignorance and we have this negative connotation of that means they're stupid. It's like, no, ignorance means I'm not yet aware of this information. Yeah. And we are all doing the best we can with what we've been taught. We can't, If one child is raised by parents who are really bad at math and taught that 4 plus 4 equals 13, and another, his parents are good at math and is taught 4 plus 4 equals 8, both kids go into school, they get a test that says 4 plus 4, and one writes 8, one writes 14. If the teacher says to the one who writes 13, well, you're stupid, you're bad at math, that's totally incorrect. Both of these kids are equally intelligent. They have both learned just the way human beings learn. One of them got misinformation.
Wow.
He's ignorant of how math really works. So we can look at that for ourselves and say, with the owner's manual that I was given, I'm doing the best that I possibly can.
Yeah.
And I got that from people who were doing the best they could with the manual that they were handed. And it traces all the way back to some misunderstanding, that, like the idea that money is the root of all evil. That's an incorrect translation of the actual statement, which is the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Very different meaning. It's about greed. And so when we go, so for generations, my family has been, shooting themselves in the foot in terms of financial well-being because of a misinterpretation. And, they're just ignorant of the truth. And it's like, okay. And we are most of us are taught to be codependent. And so if someone else is in their delusion, which is life is supposed to be, small and not as fun, then we say, then I don't want to make them uncomfortable with their reality. So I'm going to play along with that as well. And don't do that. If you're standing on the beach watching the sunset over the ocean, you're in LA, go down to Santa Monica, watch the sunset over the ocean, and imagine some people, maybe family members, stand on the beach with you, and they have their back to the water. And they're going, oh, well, look at who's got a view of the sunset. Must be nice. And we have all this program to say, you're right. And we turn our back to the water. Meanwhile, God, source creator, is like, I put this beautiful picture here for you and you're all turning your back to it. And it's like, no. Tell them, hey, yeah, I do have an awesome view. That view is here for you as well. I'm breathing oxygen. So are you. It's here for you as well. Turn your butt around and enjoy it. But I am not going to miss out. It's a shame for everybody to miss out on it. So I'm not gonna do that.
Brad,
wow,
you are so gentle.
Like such a sweet, pure, kind soul.
You're
truly
so gentle. Thank you for that.
Yeah, it's a very good perspective. Just ignorance. That's so true. Because even myself, I've started to be like, oh, everyone's so, or not everyone, but I'm like, if people have like, some crazy, mean type of views or whatever, I'm like, well, they're just stupid. Like they're just dumb. But really, ignorant is actually a way better way to say that.
Yeah, and they're suffering from a love deficiency. If they're saying things, really mean things, it's because they have a love deficiency. And our first instinct is to say something unloving towards them. It's like, if you have a friend who's sick, it's like, oh, then I should expose them to some more germs. No. Right. Try to send them health. Send love and peace. If you have to do it from a distance, that's fine. But you can't make someone feel bad enough to have them go, oh, you're right, I'm being mean. Now I'll stop and say more loving things.
Yeah.
As I say that, it was very sweet what you just said, but I'm still very human, and I will sit there and go, I can't believe how stupid those people are. Now, because I've been doing this for a long time and clearing a lot of my stuff, I usually catch myself pretty quick and go, oh, okay, oh, that's not. That's why I wear a blue wristband. You can see it in all my videos that says cultivate peace. So that's to remind me what I'm here for, so that when I go, those people are so stupid. Oh, right. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to teach people a lesson in that way. I'm not here to shame anyone. I'm here to cultivate peace and go, wow, I'm going to be curious, not judgmental. What is going on for you that's where you're going with this? What kind of pain are you feeling? Can I possibly help you alleviate that pain?
So good. And I've been messing up the quotes today, but there's some type of quote that's similar. It's something like, people are either giving love or asking for love, in every situation. So it's like, I feel like
Oh,
that's kind of similar. If someone is in pain or if someone is hurt and they're lashing out, they're probably actually just asking for love, like they need love. So that's a really beautiful way to say it.
great quote. I had not heard that one. Yeah. It's like, oh,
Ooh.
I see you. You're asking for love. Not in a great way. We need to work on your communication skills, but but I hear what you want, and I'm going to give you the love that you're asking for, even though it's coming out as in an offensive way.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
So good.
Well, do we have any last questions or do we want to run through
Yeah.
tapping?
I want to go through tapping, but is there anything else that you would tell any of our audience members who've never done tapping, or they think it's silly, or they think it's too easy, like it won't work for me? Like, is there any like final statement that you're like, trust me, I promise you, like just take this leap. Take this leap and just try.
That was perfectly said, Kayma. Just trust me. Take this leap.
That's it.
And unless you're sitting there watching this in some public place, then what's the harm in doing this? I know that some people think it looks strange. Like I said, I've been around the world now tapping in public with I did a video in the middle of Times Square with tons of people all around. As these videos come out over the next few months, and you'll see me in London and Paris tapping in front of tons of people. Not and nobody even blinks. It's like, so get over the idea of, oh, if I'm somehow sitting in the privacy of my own home and tapping on my face, someone's going to know I'm doing something silly. Yeah, I get it. I hear you asking for love. You're sending it, and give it a try. You're not going to hurt yourself, and hopefully you'll notice it quickly. Sometimes with people who are already feeling relaxed, they'll tap and they'll say, yeah, it didn't make any difference. And I'll say, if I hooked you up to a machine, I could show you that there are some levels of stress that you weren't aware of that have now been reduced.
Right.
And any little bit of stress that we reduce is more cognitive functioning. So more peace in the body, healthier immune system, healthier digestive system, all kinds of benefits from a little bit of tapping. That's why I tell people tap on a daily basis.
Yeah.
It's energy hygiene. We have physical hygiene, like brushing your teeth, taking a shower. Most of us do it on a daily basis, whether we need it or not. We don't wait until someone is holding their nose around us and we go, oh, that's right, I haven't taken a shower in 2 weeks. I should get on that. But most of us don't have a healthy routine for dealing with our stress. A lot of people have some very unhealthy ways of trying to deal with stress. But so doing it on a daily basis, because it's just like if you haven't been showering and by the time somebody is holding their nose, it's like, oh, I've waited too long. By the time we are doing things where we're aware that we're really stressed out, like we're yelling at people because of some simple thing they say to us, okay, it's already too late. I've already been making missteps that are going to have consequences. I'm already making bad choices. So I want to stay ahead of that. I tap first thing in the morning. And even though we start with, even though I'm feeling upset as the general way with EFT, it doesn't have to be something that's bothering us. So when I say I start the day with tapping, that doesn't mean I'm getting up going, even though I woke up on the wrong side of the bed again. I don't wake up in a bad mood, but I get up and it's like, okay, just in case there's any stress, any resistance to having a great day, I want to clear that out. And it's not, I'm not going to do any harm. Just like when I go to brush my teeth, it's not like I have to check first to see if there's anything green sticking out from between my teeth and go, oh, well, I shouldn't brush my teeth if I don't see anything. So the same with tapping. I'm not going to do any harm by doing some tapping, but chances are there's probably some stress because most of us have ambient stress, especially because we're all walking around with cell phones that are constantly saying, hey, here's something else to be upset about. And we just take that on without any kind of way of releasing it, except now you have a way of releasing it.
So good. That's so true. Love it. Did you have a last thing?
Okay, I have one last thing actually. Sometimes I feel like since this is our world and we're so caught up in the spirituality and the living of ease and the
Personal development.
Yeah, the personal development and like the knowing that like we are source, I always wonder, I'm like, what is everybody into this or is it just my circle? And I wanted to ask you if you felt like maybe tapping is becoming a little more mainstream, because I saw a movie trailer and I don't know what the movie is, but in the trailer she was tapping. And so I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is reaching outside of maybe just our circle.
Yeah.
But I want to know if you had any thoughts on that.
Yeah. I know this just came out. It's, and I'm blanking on the actress's name. The something sister is coming out. Yes. And lots of people send that, and I've reposted that. It's showing up in a number of things. There's an episode of Jane the Virgin where she was tapping. Zach Braff did a film recently, and he knew about it because his mom taps, and so he introduced it into the script with Molly Shannon. And there was a picture of them tapping. Pink has done interviews where she talks about tapping. So it is getting out there more and more. Jessica Biel, that's who is the actress in that. And yeah, and there are still a ton of people have. I would say we're not even close to maybe even a quarter, maybe a 1/175th of the population has been introduced to it. That's why I keep putting it on YouTube. It's like hoping that it gets spread. We're moving in that direction. But yes, it is probably more likely it's your circle because we attract like-minded people into our spheres.
Totally. That makes a lot of sense. Well, we're getting the word out since this podcast is so huge. It's going to be the number one podcast. A lot more people are going to be talking about EFT tapping. We'll be sending them your way.
Excellent.
But yeah, so did you have a I assume you kind of think of things on your on the spot now, like you're so good at your tapping videos. I'm like, we're like, is he reading a script or does he just have this memorized?
It's all downloaded. Oftentimes I only have one word it's like I've written down, a word like delusion, and I'll go, okay, let's see what happens. Sometimes we delude ourselves, and let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Even though I'm sometimes delusional, and then it's like, okay, I'm here, I'm ready, bring it on.
Ooh,
and
channeling.
Literally channeling.
Yeah. I think all creativity is channeling. I don't use that word only because there is sort of a specific category like Abraham Hicks or Seth, where it's, allowing another entity to speak through you in a particular way. So if I were to say I'm channeling, then it gets confusing with that kind of presentation.
Totally.
No, you're right.
But to me, all creativity, anyone writing a book, writing a song, and anything like that, throughout our lives, whatever creativity we're engaged in is us being open to that flowing through us.
So true.
No, it's so true. Yeah. That's one of our little bits that we have. It's like if we come on, we start talking and we have such a good episode. We're like, oh, we channeled the whole time. But I can understand how it does get confusing. Because you're like, no, it's not an entity. It's just me. But yeah, all art is
channeling.
It's channeling from source.
From source.
Universe, God, all of it.
I love it.
Not necessarily a specific, group of non-physical entities like Abraham or whatever it might be. It's just, I never say I'm channeling God. Yes, I am the voice of God. Whatever I say is coming. It's like, it comes from source. It's safer to say it that way, because I don't want anyone thinking that I have delusions of, of being a prophet. It's like, no, just as I get more open and as I'm tapping, I become more open to ideas to come through that go, yeah, I think that makes sense. And it's not going to be right for everybody.
Yeah.
Right. And that's okay. Well, in the history of humankind, there hasn't been anyone who is universally accepted and loved by everybody.
Yeah.
No,
totally.
And that's an important thing for for anyone, like you guys doing a podcast, anyone who's out there presenting something, ideas, music, books, whatever. And we have so many of us stop ourselves like, but what if someone doesn't like it? It's like, of course someone's not going to like it. There's 8 billion people on the planet. Not everybody has the same tastes. There are people who cannot listen to Taylor Swift. She's doing fine. She's selling out arenas. It's okay that there are some people who won't listen to her, and giving ourselves that freedom to say, well, and we had talked before you hit record about maybe doing some tapping on dreaming big. So we'll that may come up. I can't guarantee because I don't know what's going to come up as we do the tapping. But
perfect.
So real quick for anyone who has not done EFT before, because when I do it my way, where I'm downloading and saying all kinds of things, if that's the first time someone has seen EFT, then they think, wow, it's really complicated. You have to come up with all these words. I wouldn't know what to say. It's like, don't worry about it. You don't have to do that. You basically start off with saying, okay, what doesn't feel great right now? It may be a physical thing like, well, I've got this stiffness in my neck. And it may be an emotional thing. I'm really worried about this report that's due tomorrow. So we'd rate that concern on a scale of 0 to 10. Try to pay attention if there's a physical symptom. And then we take the fingertips of our index and middle finger. You can meridians run up and down both sides. You can tap with either hand. But for the sake of demonstration, take your dominant hand. You tap on the side of the opposite hand, and we'd say, even though I have this issue, so even though I feel this tension in my neck, even though I'm worried about this report, whatever the phrase is, I choose to love and accept myself. Say that 3 times. Then go through these points right at the beginning of the eyebrow on either side. And we tap these points generally between 5 and 10 times. Don't have to keep count. It's not an exact number. This concern, this right here at the corner of the eye, this concern, right under the middle of your eye, this concern, under your nose, this concern, right under your lower lip, just above your chin, this concern, right here where your collarbones just about come together. There's a little bit of a U shape at the base of your throat. And you can make a fist and tap there and get both sides of that, this concern. The next point is about 4 inches below your armpit. It's right about bra strap level, and I'm sure even the guys can figure out where that is. This concern, and then finally the top of the head. So with all of your fingertips tapping around the crown of your head, this concern. Then you take a deep breath and think again about what was concerning you. And it's like, okay, that was at an 8 before. Sometimes it'll go from an 8 to a 0 like that. Sometimes it'll go from an 8 to a 7.75. But again, any relief that we get, any downregulation of the stress is a greater amount of cognitive functioning and peace in the body, an improvement in so many different areas of our body and mind. So, and sometimes it's when we're tapping, it's like peeling the layers of the onion, and we become aware of things that we hadn't noticed. So sometimes the discomfort might go up slightly. It's not that tapping has made you more uncomfortable. It's just, oh, I'm just more aware of what was there. It's like if I'm cleaning my room and it looks pretty clean, but I want to clean it up a lot because I have company coming over, and then I notice there's dirty laundry under the sofa. Suddenly it doesn't seem so clean. It seems a lot dirtier, but I wouldn't say, oh, see, I should never have cleaned up because cleaning has now made it dirtier. It's like, no, just in the process, I became aware of it, and now I can really get it clean.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's going on there. So that's the basic version of EFT, and now we're going to have some fun with it. Yay! So go ahead and get yourselves comfortable.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to say we probably going to put our mics down.
Yeah, we'll put our mics down, but we'll still be able to hear you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
Put our mics down so we don't make some weird noises or whatever. And or like you can hear the mic be like.
Yes, like when I have a lapel mic and I forget and I tap the collarbone point, it's boom, boom, boom. It's like,
yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
Cool. We're going to put our mics down.
We are ready.
Yes. Okay, right. We are ready when you are, Brad.
All right, so go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and hold it. And let it go. Now, just breathing comfortably with your eyes closed, go ahead and feel your feet on the floor or whatever part of you is connected to something. Allow yourself to feel that connection. Allow yourself to feel centered and grounded. Allowing yourself to be right here, right now, as present as possible, so as to receive maximum benefit from this process. And just following your breath through your body, just allow yourself to be aware of what's going on inside. Noticing what you're feeling physically and what you're feeling emotionally. Sort of checking in with how you're doing right now. Maybe rating yourself on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being awesome, magnificent, fantastic. And do not judge yourself harshly if the number is lower than you'd like it to be. Just allow yourself to get curious and ask, what might be stopping me from being at a 10? And if it already feels like a 10, what stops it from going up to 11? Just getting curious about that. Notice what you feel physically, what you feel emotionally. Notice what thoughts, beliefs, or memories might come up as to why you couldn't or shouldn't be at a 10. Maybe 10 represents dreaming big. And be aware of any part of you that might say, well, having that kind of life, that's delusional. All that stuff that I want to put on my vision board, people will say I'm deluding myself. So allowing yourself to be aware of the thoughts, beliefs, the feelings, the emotions about why not you? Just allow yourself to be aware of what goes on in there. And take a deep breath. Open your eyes and go ahead and tap where I tap and repeat back what I say. And feel free, if at any time another word comes to mind, it's like, I feel like I should say this instead, trust your gut. Go with that. Even though dreaming big seems delusional, I choose to love and accept myself. Even though dreaming big seems delusional, I choose to love and honor myself. Even though dreaming big seems delusional, I've been told it's delusional. I've been told to play small. But part of me keeps saying, I think there might be more out there for me. And I think there might be more inside from me. And then part of me says, maybe that's just delusional. And even though I'm afraid it might be, I choose to deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. And maybe anyone else who might have contributed to these fears. All this fear that dreaming big is delusional. All this need to stop myself from dreaming big. And if I stop myself from dreaming big, I'll stop myself from taking big actions. And I'm probably doing that. Probably more than I realize. And that's not to shame myself. If I'm stopping myself from playing bigger, it's not because I'm bad or stupid. It's not because I am weak or lazy. It's because I have some old programming about why I should play small. And maybe some people have told me that I owe it to them to play small.
that I owe it to them to play small.
How dare I think bigger?
How dare I think bigger?
How dare I play bigger?
How dare I play bigger?
And thinking that my life could be more awesome
And thinking that my life could be more awesome
is just a delusion.
Is just a delusion.
And I should just get real.
And I should just get real.
And I love and appreciate those parts of me.
And I love and appreciate those parts of me
That sometimes fall for that crap.
that sometimes fall for that crap.
And I stop myself from dreaming bigger.
And I stop myself from dreaming bigger.
In order to take care of myself.
In order to take care of myself.
It's an act of self-love.
It's an act of self-love.
But it's a misguided act of self-love.
But it's a misguided act of self-love.
Because there are other people out there.
Because there are other people out there.
Dreaming big.
Dreaming big.
And living big.
And living big.
So I can dream big.
So I can dream big.
And live big.
And live big.
And I can call that getting real.
And I can call that getting real.
Because there is awesomeness out there.
Because there's awesomeness out there.
And it's there for me as much as anyone else.
And it's there for me as much as anyone else.
And there is awesomeness inside.
And there's awesomeness inside.
And it's there for other people.
And it's there for other people.
When I dream big,
When I dream big,
it's not a selfish act.
it's not a selfish act.
It puts me in a position
It puts me in a position
to make a bigger difference in the world.
to make a bigger difference in the world.
My success is a win-win situation.
My success is a win-win situation.
It benefits other people.
It benefits other people.
I choose to hear the universe saying to me,
I choose to hear the universe saying to me,
please dream big.
please dream big.
Please make wonderful things happen.
Please make wonderful things happen.
I gave you gifts and talents.
I gave you gifts and talents.
Don't be stingy with those.
Don't be stingy with those.
And don't miss out on what's here for you.
And don't miss out on what's here for you.
I'm paying attention to that.
I'm paying attention to that.
And I'm clearing the doubts.
And I'm clearing the doubts.
All these voices in my head
All these voices in my head
about why it can't be me.
about why it can't be me.
About why I can't do these things.
About why I can't do these things.
Why I can't have these things.
About why I can't have these things.
That's a delusion.
And that's a delusion.
And I'm letting that go.
And I'm letting that go.
Setting myself free to dream much bigger.
Setting myself free to dream much bigger.
In body, mind, and spirit.
In body, mind, and spirit.
And take a deep breath. Close your eyes, go inside, and just allow yourself to be aware of what's going on in there. Thinking about life at a 10. And hopefully that feels more comfortable. And again, peeling the layers of the onion through that tapping around, maybe some ideas came up, maybe some memories of, oh, I remember this thing that my parents said when I was 6 years old. And great. Tap on any, if there's any attachment to that still, do some tapping on that. Even though my parents said this nonsense about who I could be and what I could do, and let that go. Because you're not serving them and you're not serving the world by playing small with what you have to offer.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. That was so beautiful.
That was so good. Listen, y'all, like it was delusional for us to think that Brad, the daddy bratty Yates, would come on our podcast. So this is proof that you can manifest anything and being delusional works. But that was so good, Brad. Thank you so much. We'll probably show our members this tapping session sooner than the podcast being released. So shout out to our members, but thank you so much, Brad. You truly are changing the world. And I think this episode, if someone wasn't listening to us already about EFT tapping, I think this will convince them to finally try and go check out Brad's YouTube channel. He has 1,500 plus videos. So obviously you can find something that resonates with you. And we're super, super grateful for you, Brad.
Yes.
Well, thank you. You can even go get, I have a couple of free 5-day programs at tapwithbrad.com, Success Beyond Belief and Tap Into Your Best Self. So go check that out. And it goes a little bit, little bit deeper dive than a 5-minute tapping video on YouTube.
Perfect. Yes. And we'll put a link to Tap with Brad. Is it tapwithbrad.com?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, cool. We'll put a link to that in the show notes. Yes, of course. So go check out those challenges. People love a challenge. Yeah. People love a little 5-day challenge or however many days. So that's perfect for a lot of people. And well, we love you guys. Thank you guys for sticking to the end. And thank you for continuing to show us so much love. And we love you all. And we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.